Beautiful Thursday. Happy Halloween. This is Ash coming on to share a brief message with you. Hopefully you find it encouraging because that's the purpose of the message. With it being Scorpio season, this is a beautiful time. This is a beautiful time for us to reflect on our lives in different ways. And a lot of my mentors have been generating some really dope points of reflection or journal prompts. And one of the ideas that came to me in my journaling was to never let another's mess interfere with your personal progress. So I'm going to say it one more time. Never let someone else's mess interfere with your own personal progress. So we all have purposes, missions that we are here to accomplish. And with me being a Virgo, that service-oriented energy sometimes needs to be put in check. I have to check myself before I wreck myself sometimes, meaning I have to mind my business. Sometimes I'm putting my hands or interfering in things that I should not be interfering in, and doing so at a rate that prevents me from moving at the pace I need to move in, or if I can say the word, fulfilling my own personal missions or my own personal mission or goals. So that's important. So never, ever, ever get caught or find yourself wrapped up in other people's mess, especially doing so in a way that allows you to interfere with your own progress. So that's one idea. And last but not least, I've been reflecting on my perspective of success. So generally, we think of success as materialistic a lot of times. That's what comes to mind. That's what's, plastered in our faces on a regular basis, whether it be on social media, on TV, like people having gobs of money, nice purses, flashy things, and all those things are lovely, and you should strive to have wealth in the mental, physical, from every aspect. So never frowning upon those things, just realizing that sometimes we experience success in a way that's not so public or not so material. For example, when I reflect on some of my successes, I consider the fact that I overcame a domestically violent relationship earlier on in my life a success. I consider the fact that I was able to get my daughter into a school after putting in some work that I wanted her to get into. That was success to me. And then last but not least, in one of my businesses, I struggled for a long time. I was doing the work, however, I had to elevate my concept of self, and it was still a task for me, but at a certain point, I finally started to have success, because initially in that business, I was a partnership, and at a certain point, that partnership became a solo ship. I was doing it by myself. So in that, I had to elevate my confidence. My work ethic was bomb, so didn't really have to work on that, just stayed after it and the way I needed to, but elevating my concept of self and boosting my own confidence. So it took me about a good decade, but I started actually getting recognition independently in that business. So anyway, now one was a little bit more public than the others, but for the most part, sometimes we experience success in a way where we don't necessarily publicize it. It's more private. It's more of like a spiritual private matter, something that we overcome privately. So in that, doesn't mean we're any less successful than someone who may be experiencing material success or more public success. And I think that's important to remember, because since we have social media and all these public ways of expressing and showing success, sometimes those of us who may not be experiencing it in the same way can feel like, well, maybe we're not as successful, but you're still successful. If you're experiencing private spiritual successes, whatever that is, you are still a very successful person, and you should celebrate that and be encouraged by that. And in evolving in that way, I feel it will open you up to experiencing more success in those other ways as well. So those were some of my reflection points, and I just wanted to come on because I was moved to share. So hopefully you found that encouraging, uplifting, and you have a beautiful, beautiful Thursday evening. Happy Halloween. Peace.